I forget sometimes how much I actually like that opening. Welcome back, Pack. It's your Alpha, the Wolf Grease. If you will endure a bit of not silence, but delay here, I need to change my noise gate. I had changed it before last night for the simple fact that I was playing a match in Firewall in the Pro League. But anyway, so as the title says, I want to quickly just go over the Solaris gameplay trailer. Obviously, this has been out for 2 weeks now. Not this past Friday, but the Friday before that. No, actually, no. Was it this past week? I forget. Upload VR. I know it had to have been this past week. I'd have to check the date. Ignore, it doesn't matter. It's already been out. People have already analyzed it and assessed it, but Upload VR did their little reveal of Solaris, obviously with First Contact Entertainment giving it to them, and they were the first ones to show it. Obviously, people have already reviewed it. I've watched a few of those reviews, but I have my own feelings and take on it as well, so I don't know if this really matters to anyone, but I felt like, you know, I wanted to do it. We'll do a quick playthrough of it, give you guys kind of a heads up, a reminder of what it is, and then we will hop over, and then I'll review it a little bit, talk about some things that I've noticed, and then we'll hop over to Destiny. Why don't we go to a bigger screen? This is another thing I had to turn off yesterday because I was capturing stuff. There we go. All right, so that being said, why don't we watch this video, and then we'll go back and talk about a few things. And ignore the fuzziness. I don't know why, but it's set at 1080. It's set at 1080 and it doesn't look 1080, but that's okay. So it's coming out August 2020 for Oculus, and for PSVR it's coming out this year. We don't know what month, but presumably about August 2007 or August 17th, I think Shabs had said in the interview. But let's start off here. So for those who don't know, Solaris is a 4v4 online arena shooter. Oh, hold on, my brother's calling. And just like Firewall, for what First Contact is really known for, they've done ROM extraction. That was more of a wave shooter that wasn't nearly as popular as Firewall 0 Hour. But for those who don't know, Firewall 0 Hour is actually an IP and owned by Sony, but developed by First Contact. This is First Contact's first IP that I'm aware of. I think ROM extraction was also owned by Sony, but I'd have to confirm that. Regardless, you can see that a lot of what they do or did over in Firewall has translated over here. The graphics are pre-alpha or alpha footage, so we don't want to necessarily take the graphics into consideration yet. If we all remember what Firewall 0 Hour looked like at launch, it was of similar quality. It wasn't anywhere near what it is now, so keep that in mind. But anyway, it's essentially an Inception sort of thing. You are diving into a VR game where you play a character who competes in VR combat. So you're a VR player playing a VR player playing VR combat. Okay, a lot of VR Inception there. And so there's respawners. Very similar to Unreal, very similar to other games with respawners like Overwatch and other arena shooters of that sort. Okay, even Call of Duty now has respawners like in TDM and stuff like that. I think they've always had that, but now even in Battle Royale they have it. So respawners, very different from what Firewall is, which is just a 4v4 tactical. You die once, that's it, you're dead for that round. So there's gonna be a lot of respawning. There's also not any death. You essentially get killed, right? You're terminated, and then you're reverted back to your spawn point. Okay. So that's it, and it's a control point. That is the only mode that they are advertising at the moment. If you don't know what control point is, think of like King of the Hill. Okay, where King of the Hill, you compete to obviously be King of the Hill, right? But then the hill moves, and so then you have to go to that hill, right? Same concept here. You find the location where you have to defend. You defend. You build up the amount of time. Those are your points, and then once it moves, then you move to another location. This is also very similar to something called Hyperdash, which is currently out for the Quest, but it's in early stages. I think that too is in alpha testing, maybe beta testing. It feels like a beta test, but they're improving it regularly, so it hasn't officially released yet, but similar concept. All right. So anyway, we can see here, this is kind of like an opening cinematic. I'm sure that this builds into some of the lore. I say that, with a grain of salt, because, Firewall Zero Hour has lore as well, but it's very hard to uncover, and I don't think anybody takes the time to learn it. So there's some lore here, and it looks like you're in a pod, right? Hollow Field 1, that's your initializing pod, right? And this is reminiscent, kind of, at least to me, reminiscent of Echo Arena, where you start off and in an area, like when you first load in, you're in an anti-gravity lobby, where then you can meet friends, you can set up matches, you can do practices, stuff like that. That is what this reminds me of. All right, so you're loaded in, and look, let's go back just a little bit. Right, you could see the silhouettes of players, right? So I'm wondering if once you load in, and this is just speculation because I don't know, I'm wondering if once you load in, you enter a lobby very similar to Echo Arena, right? Where you can meet friends and stuff like that. I doubt it, but we look here. Again, this is very arena stylized. Like, this has an arena style. You have the barrier that doesn't allow you to go out into the main arena for a given amount of time. I don't know why they have this visual. They only show a countdown from 3 seconds. I'm assuming the countdown's longer than that. Otherwise, why would they have the barrier here? I think they did this for dramatic purposes, honestly. I think they waited for it to count down to 3, and then that's where they started the recording. But I've got a feeling the counter's probably longer. Otherwise, what's the point of the barrier? So you can see that this is where they would exit right here, right? You can see he's got the gun. You could tell a lot from here initially to start. You have these numbers, which you see later on. You can see all these bars, right? It's kind of hard to see, but especially if you're not paying attention to it. But you have all these bars here. That is your point counter. So that's the amount of time you spend at the control point. Now, hey Jay, what's going on? So the reason why I say that is because as the trailer or gameplay trailer progresses, you actually see different levels of bars that they've obtained, and this counter is obviously gone up or down. I think we saw it reach into the 90s, so I'm guessing the cap is 100, which would be, I don't know if that'd be a lot or not. But this game is very fast, and it depends on the respawn timers. Anyway, so here's the countdown timer. They also have the countdown timer on this barrier here. You have the health down here, which it looks like you don't start with a full set of health unless that is full health. And then the armor, which you can see the little armor icon here, starts here. Let's continue with the trailer. You see we got the gun, so there's in-game IK. That was the fastest response I've gotten on Twitch ever. I'm always checking my chat, man. It's lonely in here. Oh, that's right. I should probably, actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep the chat right where it is. I'm going to just ignore that for now. Anyway, so futuristic guns, not realistic, very different from Firewall. But here we go. Let's move on. Right. So you'll see these weapon respawners all over the place. This is so reminiscent of Unreal. You run around the map and there's different weapons. You don't start with a loadout. That's typical arena style shooters. You don't have that in Overwatch. You don't have that in some of the more modern ones. But if you go back to old school, like original Xbox, PlayStation, even PC, where Unreal Tournament kind of started, or I think at the time it was Unreal. Yeah, I think it was Unreal Tournament, not Unreal Championship. They're in the same universe, but I digress. You had weapon spawns all over the map. Same thing here. Are you playing Destiny 2 on PC, or are you? I'm only watching a vid right now, and I'm talking about Solaris to start because it's been out for a little bit, and I've wanted to talk about it and just kind of pick apart the video and share my thoughts. So there's going to be respawners or weapon respawns all over the place. They're going to be designated by this yellow holographic color. Right, when we move into the next, you can see how fast they move. So like, if let's see, let's slow it down. Playback speed about 50, right? Here we go. Like even that looks fast, right? And that's at half speed. So if you're familiar with Firewall, you know like Firewall is super slow, which is fine. Actually, I am going to move this. I'll move it like right here. All right, so Firewall is very slow. This is going to be very fast. They wanted to emphasize it as indicated by that movement. But you can look and see things are very neon, very bright. There's not a lot of detail right now. There's some aliasing on the walls. You can see the divoted edges, right? It's not smooth. But then again, you have to remember this is alpha gameplay, so like it's not going to be perfect yet. The same thing was with Firewall. What? Aliasing at its like aliasing is very simply the smoothness of textures. So if there's aliasing, you'll see it like these lines are not smooth. Okay. Anti-aliasing can if you turn it on, and someone who's more techie can correct me, but sometimes I get the two mixed up. Anti-aliasing, if you turn it on, it smooths out the edges, but at times it can lower the quality of the image. I know it did that with Firewall. Whereas if you have it off, you might have a much greater like color palette, like and better brightness balancing, but you might have this aliasing where the lines aren't crisp. That's essentially what it is. You want crispness and lines, you might want to have anti-aliasing on. So it's very neon, very futuristic. Again, you're playing a VR character in a VR arena shooter. Okay, you come around the corner, and that came out. It says white. Find white. I'm guessing that's going to say arachnid because that looks a little bit like a spider. I don't know what this signifies, but who knows. And there's a blue and red team. They're adding. No, this is strictly VR. This is strictly VR. It's coming out on Oculus first in August, but on PSVR this year. So, and there's going to be a crossplay. So even if you have the PSVR version, we'll be able to play. So there's a blue and red side, very typical. If we look at the details and the AI here, not AI, but the avatars, I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. You can see that they're very futuristic, nice reflections of light. They've got stances very similar to characters in Firewall. We can see a lot of that. Very cool LCD, LED panels in the background, very bright and vibrant, so different from Firewall. You could see 3 players here, but it is a team of 4, and this is the red team. There's a 4th player, and here's a blue team. You can actually see early glimpse of the sliding mechanic, and I strongly believe that there is a jumping mechanic. I'll show you 2 instances where this trailer indicates to me that there's a jumping mechanic. But watch this guy in the front. See that? Slides right across. Right, let's look at the movement again. I'm always interested in watching the movement of the characters. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit more so I can look at it a little bit longer here. A little floaty, and the IK isn't, the IK is very rigid. You see how rigid this is? And he drops down, it's very rigid. So it looks like they still have some work on the IK to do, but so far, very familiar to Firewall. Okay, so this has been a point of confusion for some people who have been reviewing. I'm guessing they don't play a lot of arena shooters. So if you're playing, this is again, capture point, control point, king of the hill, what have you, right? They're like, well, they're confused. Is this clock counting down to, you know, when it's going to change position? I don't think so. From my experience in playing arena shooters, this clock down, this ticking down signifies when this area is going to be available to start capturing and receiving points. They usually freeze the control point initially to give people time to go from their spawn, collect all their weapons, and then move to the next control point. And what I'm used to is this happening for the very first control point and none of the others. So it's the control point, the first control point, and then it opens, and then you compete for the amount of time spent in there, and then once that's done, then it switches to another control point, but there is no countdown. It's whoever gets there first, it's there for a given amount of time. I'm curious to know how much time is spent there, unless there's a designated number of seconds that you can collect. So like maybe the control point has a cap number of I don't know, 20 seconds maybe, and as long as you have control of it, you could capture the whole 20 seconds or part of the 20 seconds. I don't know. They haven't really divulged any of that stuff. What I also find interesting is this purple icon over here. We don't, from what I've seen this video quite a few times. I've never seen this purple icon before. I have no idea what that is. Not a clue. But that's what this white barrier is. It's locked on, for 19 more seconds. And then once that clock ticks down, then you can go and capture the point. Red team moving in. Another thing to note here, just a minor detail. There's a little icon above the head. That tells you that they're the enemy. Okay, so we're looking from blue perspective here. Obviously, this is just the cam. This is just the cam for like developers or whatever. Which I really hope that they have an esports friendly spectator mode. That'd be beautiful so that we can cast it. But anyway, that's kind of like the chevron and Firewall, right? Okay, this is a good show of gameplay footage in combat a little bit. I'm going to slow it down like this quarter speed here, right? Team running in. There's clearly some sort of sprint or boost effect. You can see these air stripes, right? I say airstripes, I don't know what else to call it, but you see like sometimes when you're going down a wind tunnel, you got those gusts of air in video games coming at you to tell you that you're moving really fast. That's what I think these are. This is telling you that you're sprinting. As they proceed forward, you can see shots. I'm guessing this is the primary weapon. They're shooting purple lasers, but you'll see from one of these guys over here, there's also a rocket launcher, right? As this blue character comes in, you see him initiate the slide, right? A couple more lasers coming in, and here comes the rocket. Or maybe that's his rocket shooting out there. Nope, there's the rocket coming in. So you see, he probably picked up a different weapon. Yeah, I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. But you can see there's the hit indicator, red around the screen. That's perfect for VR. The only thing I hope they do is add an indicator, like where they're being shot from. It looks like there is, but it's right here. So let's back that up a little bit and see if that's the case. Yeah, so that's the indicator. That's the, oof. We can see here, that's the direction it's coming from. I don't know if I like that spot though. It kind of interferes. My hope is that it would be more up. You can't see it because my header's up there, but I'm hoping it'd be more up here, kind of like where my header is. I'd like it there. You can see there's a countdown timer. I'm guessing that's how much time is left for that. Maybe that's how much time is left for the spawn point, for the control point, to be active, and you just continue to fight over it. So maybe it's open for 5 minutes. So of course, I have it at core speed. Obviously, 8 players, 4v4. Okay, this is where I first think that there is a jump mechanic. Okay, we see him sliding. First of all, blue icon here, and that's for armor. You can see it's in a bit of a torso shape. It's holographic, hard to see on here, especially with all the blue in the background. We're still in blue base. So, yep, that's right. That's where the armor starts, and then it fills up. He's got half armor. I'm assuming these only fill half armor, because as soon as he grabs this, and look, there's another purple icon down there. I wonder if that's like a buff or something. Yeah, man, this game looks really fun. Because like in Unreal, they would have I can't remember it, what it's called, but it's this purple, it's like extra damage, ultra damage or something like that, but it's an extra damage booster. So you snag that and it gives you more power in your gun, and you could do a lot more damage. I'm guessing that's what it could be, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So anyway, there's the blue armor, right? So blue is armor, yellow is weapons. We're assuming red is health, but I'll show you guys that pops up in here. But look at this. I'm gonna again slow it down. Okay, he slides into this and then somehow is able to get so far. You see that? It's almost like he jumped. I'm gonna play that back. This is the first indication to me that there might be a jump mechanic, right? He slides here. You saw that he was sprinting, right? He comes out of it and continues sprinting. It's a bit of a fall, but you see he hovers just a little bit. So is there a sprinting or a jumping mechanic? There's another situation here where I think it shows someone jumping, and that's at the very end. As soon as he picked that up, though, you see this 5, right? Utility plus 5. We don't know what utility is. We'll find out, I guess. But utility plus 5. Okay, countdown timer 4:19, right? Here's a new weapon. Okay, again, weapon spawns. Hyperion Exosystems. I'm guessing that is what I think that is a company that essentially runs these arena tournaments, is Hyperion Exosystems. That's just a guess, part of the lore, I guess, if you're interested in that sort of thing. So we're going from the basic general rifle or gun to this thing, which some speculate could be a shotgun. I think it's an assault rifle. It looks more like an assault rifle. There's no slider here to suggest it's a pump, so I'm going to assume that it's an assault rifle. Okay, carrying on. Kind of cool design, very futuristic, right? Control point, again, only mode that they're advertising right now is control point. Yeah, and that's the thing, you didn't see the utility pop up until he picked up the armor. I don't know. I don't know why he got plus 5 utility when he picked up the armor. Some are speculating that it's currency in the game. But why would you get currency for picking up armor? Not a lot of clarity around that. Again, this is the very first gameplay trailer. So control the point. Next, we're going to see combat within the control point here. All right, so here's a bazooka grenade launcher kind of thing. We can see many players here in the actual control point. I'm assuming this red mesh is suggesting, or at least stating, that red team has control. My other guess is possibly, and this is just possibly, that means it's being contended. In other words, someone else is there, someone from the opposite team is there, and it's in contention. I'm going to guess that because the barrier changes color, it starts out white, whoever has control of it, it will change that color. So in this case, it'd be red. You can see that around the border, it's red, but then as soon as the blue player comes in, which we can see here, blue player moving in, now you have that hash mark, or you see it on the floor there. I'm not going to describe it. I believe that means it's in contention. I could be wrong, but it's one of the two. He's shooting a plasma or laser or prism based grenade launcher, and it's very spectacle. Okay, very spectacle. It's got a lot of polygons, a lot of colors. It's very, very, forgive me for saying this, fruity. It's very colorful, and I wonder why. I don't know why it's so prismatic. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but maybe that's just part of the lore. But we also see here the first sign of any kind of time being captured. I think 38 seconds, right? One bar is full. Right? That's what I'm saying, Jay. Like, it's very bizarre. I get that it's a future style kind of game, but to have a prism based gun, I don't know, kind of strange. But here you can see the bar, one of them's full, so they're probably going to, I don't know if they fill in going horizontally or if they fill in going vertically. We'll have to wait and see. But as the trailer progresses, you're going to see that those raise a little bit. You can see here 3 with the double arrows means that they're capturing. There's, I'm guessing the number of arrows is going to indicate how quickly you capture. That is a huge thing in arena shooters. The more people on a point, especially objective based shooters, like you'll find that in Call of Duty as well. The more people on the point, the faster time you get, or the amount of time that you get over time, right? So we can see there's one red player out here, and there's 2 in here, 2 in the point with 2 arrows. So I'm guessing 2 arrows signifies there's 2 people on the point, which is good. It's very good for tactics, especially if you're respawning and you're running in and you're like, okay, I don't know who's there. You could at least determine, okay, maybe there's 2 people on the point, right? They're not focused on this person up here. Instead, this person's coming in with a bazooka. We can see it shoots. Very big spectacle. It's okay, dude. Very big spectacle here. Very colorful. Immediate hit. It looks like it might be a one-shot kill. Immediate hit. Person dies. This person dies. This person's sliding in, right? Hold on, just gotta take a sip of coffee. And after he shoots and it explodes on the ground, it takes those 2 guys out. You see the 2 arrows go away. Okay, so that's why I'm saying I think those 2 arrows signify how many people are actually on the point. Automatically switches back, so it's probably a one-shot deal with that gun, so you better hit it. But it looks like it does massive damage, so it could be very critical in getting that weapon, especially when you're trying to take back the point. It goes right back to the basic assault rifle or whatever gun you want to call. Again, you see a lot of the particle effects. This person's coming in, right? And look at this. Second indication that there's jumping mechanics. He fires. Here he goes. Does he just sprint in? But why does he have so much hang time? Why is there so much hang time? There's a person coming in from the other side. And look at, here's 31. Again, I'm thinking 31 seconds. So maybe it's a 5 minutes. No, maybe not. Maybe it's 5-minute rounds. And whoever walks away with the most time captured, not entirely sure. But 31 seconds on this timer. Let's go back just a little bit, just a hair. Because we don't see the timer here, right? We don't see the timer. They hop in. Okay, there's one person on the point, as we can see. There's possibly a second person. This one's a faded arrow, so maybe that means there's a second person coming in. But they still have control of the point. As you get eliminated, your bodies don't fall. There's no ragdoll physics. You disintegrate. And we'll see that at the end. We actually saw that at the end already, but you disintegrate. Okay. Too quick on the double click. You also see, let's see, the points here. So objective kill, you get plus 20. I'm assuming with the kill, you get 50. And objective kill, you get 20. Okay. So for every kill, you get 50 points. Objective kill, you get 20. I don't know if that results in you leveling up or not, but interesting to note regardless. So here comes Shabs coming in. What looks like some kind of I don't know, pump gun. Maybe that's a shotgun. Maybe it's a semi-automatic. But now blue has control of the point. They have 2 arrows. and it looks like there might be a third arrow, possibly a third person coming in. They have 30 seconds there to control. Here again, red has control, just some more firing. Did you see that? Look at this character. Watch what. Okay, he got a kill. He's at 100 points. I don't know why he got 100 points, but look at that. Ah, too slow on the pause. Look at this. What the hell is that? What is that? Looks like he's shooting a freaking Rubik's cube. Strange. Again, red has control of the point though. Look at all this stuff that you can hide behind. Pretty cool. And now this is clearly a different round. A Tetris gun. Yeah, it's a freaking Tetris gun, dude. One person seems to be on point and they already have 36, so it looks like it fills vertically. All right, he dodges that, shooting. When I play this back, I will put the audio back on and you can hear a lot of the sounds are very similar to Firewall. I think they're reusing assets, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Some sort of sponsoring going on here, probably something to do with the lore. Okay, again, coming off the wall, obviously falling, turning around, getting the shot. So some nice shots there. Okay, so we can see this gun right here. This over here, no one's really sure what this is. Yeah. This is their game. They actually own this. Sony owns Firewall, and First Contact owns this game. So we don't know what this is. I don't see any plus, which would indicate any sort of health regen. So I'm wondering if this is like an attack boost. Maybe not like an ultra kill kind of attack boost, but an attack boost. So he's getting shooting the guy in the head, right? Okay, another blow up there. Interesting thing to note here. Okay, let's go back. Now watch. 1 second. 1 second left, so that means blue can move in and capture 1 second in time. So after he gets that elimination here, blue moves in, probably captures it, gets that point, right? A lot of shots, a lot of death. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. I don't know if there's any contending here. See, okay, see, those are hash marks again. Let's go back just a little bit. See how there's no hash marks? Maybe those hash marks are just an indicator of who has it, because right now it's white and there's someone coming in. So I wonder if that means it's in contention. So it reverts back to white, or there's no barrier at all. Red has the point though. He's on the outskirts. All right, 7 seconds. So here's another indication that there's a jump, right? I think. No, never mind. It's not till the end. Boy, they love showing off that gun, don't they? Here's another cool thing. Let's come back here. Don't know what this... Oh, that's armor. Okay, I was going to say, I don't know what that is. Actually, it doesn't look like armor, does it? Like, it's got the torso shape. I'm guessing that's the armor. We've kind of already identified it as armor, haven't we? Look at this. Okay, here's... Is this a hover? Or is this a jump? You see that? Let's go back. Let's look at that again. Oops. Let's go. Look at that again. Watch this. Hover or jump? Yeah, it looked like a triangle, didn't it? To me, that's a jump. Not a big jump, but a jump. Anyway, so this is the death screen. This is what it looks like. A few things to point out here. Sabotage. Okay, that's the creative director for First Contact Entertainment. He plays a lot. So this is the indicator who killed you. Obviously, your screen goes red. You get a big X indicating like, hey, you've been eliminated. Down here, you obviously have the trade, right? So Sabotage killed the game show, aka Frank, right? And you can start seeing your body disintegrate, which is kind of cool. All right. All right. And then Athlon. All right. So these, in this world, people who play in this game are considered athletes. Okay, and I'm wondering if Athlon is like their word for athlete for the future. And you're being ejected from this particular avatar. Yeah, it looks like a jump, doesn't it? Looks so you're being ejected from this and put into another avatar. That's essentially the idea. But anyway, and then that's the death screen, and then you're brought back into another avatar. Okay, so again, coming August 2020 to Oculus, and then a little bit later coming 2020 to PlayStation VR. So let's bring this back to normal speed. I want you guys to listen to the audio here. Listen to the gunshots and the hit markers. So you can hear all those hit markers, all those sound effects. Very similar to Firewall, reusing assets, but that's cool. Anyway, thanks for letting me do that. I'm probably gonna clip that, put that up on YouTube, see if anyone cares. But that's that. Why don't we switch on over to Destiny now?